Hi everyone, I promised this would be a trilogy within the larger tale of this so-called decade. The beginning, the end, and now the middle of my marriage. I feel this is important because I don't want my wife to be portrayed as a villain. While there are the people I know who insist this is exactly what she is, and they have a right to do so, being family or being in my life for a long time, I don't want you, the anonymous viewer, to get an unbalanced view. People sometimes ask me how I see my marriage now, and as you can appreciate, it is complicated. I can tell you what I've not done, reframed that whole period of my life as a negative experience, and I am rather proud of that. As it would have been all too easy to turn those 20 years into something poisonous, fall into the narrative she weaved on exiting, but that wouldn't have been the truth. The simple fact is, it was a happy marriage right up until very near the end, when apparently she wanted something else. It wasn't really a long, insidious, slow burn that turned her into a hate figure over the course of the relationship, which I'm thankful for because I've seen that happen with other people, and that is awful. I at least had the benefit of being happy until I wasn't, right? As a result, it's possible for the 20-year relationship to remain untainted. We spent the years from around 25 to 24 together, and that's a long growing up period. As you'll have picked up from this so-called decade so far, we have shared experiences I still value. We travelled to different locations, albeit the course of it was Disney, though I'm pretty sure she probably looks back on that as if it's stupid now, because it probably doesn't match with her new rock chick aesthetic. We've shared pets, we've had crazy life choices like deluding ourselves into thinking we could migrate to Australia without significant life disruption. And she was the rock during difficult times in my life, like my period of unemployment. She pushed me to do the MBA when everyone else was telling me it was a bad idea. It could be said, she was the counterbalance to my cautiousness, while us not being too different that it caused argument. It was a pretty good balance. We were lucky in that we had a core of similar interests born about how we met. And as I say, it was a solid marriage up until the rather quick turn of events where it wasn't. So this all sounds fantastic, and to some extent it is, right? I haven't got 20 years of tainted memories, but the problem isn't so much how I view these memories, it's how I engage with them. And for that, I do have a TV show analogy. When a new TV show launches for an old property, they have some choices to make on how they engage with the existing show. Are they totally remaking the old show, in which case it works on a replacement model, right? It just wipes over the top of the other one. Or are they making a continuation, which then raises the question of what to do with all the established stories and stuff that has happened before. The nefarious canon. By and large, you can either work with it or find a model that makes ignoring it make sense. My life after recovering from the divorce is essentially the new TV show. My life before the divorce is like the old TV show. Since I can't pretend it's a retelling, the new does not replace the old. It's very much a continuation that has chosen the option that makes ignoring all the built-up canon material from the previous show make sense. I guess I view it a bit like the new Doctor Who, as opposed to the old Doctor Who. In the new Doctor Who, all the old show's stories actually happened, but they exist behind the Time War. The Time War is a bit like my divorce. Everything after the Time War, or the divorce, is valid and relevant. Everything before the divorce, or the Time War, happened, but has a value that doesn't immediately impact my day-to-day life. Just like in Doctor Who, occasionally it makes sense to pull things from beyond the Time War, because it's relevant to the new show or because it's pivotal to the protagonist and who he is now. But for the most part, for the majority of the new show, it's not referenced at all. It's some nebulous time before the Time War that's valuable but separate. And that's how I view my 20 years of marriage. It's a bunch of 20 years of memories that happened, but sort of in an abstract sense. They exist beyond Euclidean geometry, which makes them hard to discern unless you actively really need to. In all other circumstances, they exist and don't exist at the same time. It is a whole exercise in quantum physics. Is that a bit weird? I guess it is. But it's an honest view of it. I view my 20 years with my ex-wife as good and glorious thing, but at the same time, I don't think about it much. They're behind the time wall. We have new stories to tell. Until the next chapter, you can support me by doing a few simple things. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon, certainly post a comment, and let's continue to make small great changes to make life a story worth telling.